Hey guys, okay, welcome back. Doing the number one podcast. I got to keep making this clear. Um, Clearly, it's not the number one podcast. I think the man Joe Rogan's got me beat on that one by far. The purpose of this podcast is to talk to people from their journey from being no one to number one. Right? You see the play on words there. Number one podcast. No one to number one. Now, listen, I'm really excited. I recently met a gentleman who I'm gonna bring in here in a second. He asked me to. He's like, just call me Dr. Joe, and he's like the coolest dude. I'm really excited to introduce him to you guys. I've learned a lot from him in my very short time. The guy's super duper smart, super down to earth, a great human being. I actually met him because of we are both partners with Grant Cardone as official licensees. So that's really how we first met and started networking. And man, we really hit it off. He has so much value. Man, this is going to be one of those videos that you're going to want to share. He's an amazing human being. We're going to talk about right now opportunities. Literally, you'll listen to this. You can go start making money. The guy's super smart. I want to bring him in. Dr. Joe Connor, are you there, sir?
I'm doing well. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad we got a chance to do it sooner than later.
Listen, man, ever since we went and had that met for lunch, I've been blown away, dude. And I didn't even know your story. Like, I'm just rapping with you and you're just like, yeah, I'm a dude. And then I hear your story. I'm like, you're not just a dude. You're like, and you're so self-effacing. So let's just get this out the way. You're a freaking PhD in biochem?
My PhD was in biology, but an emphasis on comparative biochemistry.
Dude, I checked out at organic chemistry, man. OChem, I was like, this shit ain't for me. I'm gonna go take an easier path in life. Holy crap. So like a PhD in biology with an emphasis in biochemistry. Okay, that is some difficult business. How long? I know this, but for the sake of people listening, how long were you a professor? Like, you were a professor in California and you're retired now, but how long were you a professor?
I was a professor at Pasadena City College from 1993 to January 1st, 2020. So you're talking about 27 years. And prior to there, I was a research associate at School of Pharmacy in Baltimore, Maryland, where I taught nutrition and biochemistry to pharmacy students.
Wow. Now, let's just be real, because I mean, like, you know me, dude. I kind of just talk, and I love you because you tolerate all my craziness. So, but I just got to get real here. Like, how crazy is it? This is what blew me away, because I'm a little bit of a nerd, but like, man, like, I think you, like, honestly, tell me, do you know any other, like, there's got to be like only a handful of PhDs that are African American that are in your age demographic. I mean, is that fair to say? I just don't.
Well, when I was in graduate school, there was 3 of us.
Wow.
And one went on to be president of St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands, the college there. And another one, I've lost track of him in terms of his work. There's not too many PhDs, relatively speaking, that are African American.
That is amazing. And so, like, I was looking at your resume and some of the bio stuff that you sent me. I'm still learning crap about you. I mean, you're really, truly like an amazing human being. And again, in sticking with the theme of the podcast, number one, like, you're really an amazing human. So, I mean, you've done a lot of work. What is this organization that you were that you're pivotal with, or that you were instrumental, or you helped out with, that was getting urban use into these scientific research labs? Tell me a bit about that.
Well, I helped write a grant with the instructor with Pasadena Unified School District. and we wrote a grant with NASA, and we had it for 6 years, and it helped 7th and 8th graders get a better understanding of science, technology, engineering, math, and medicine.
Wow.
In 96, we were proposing the grant, and I was offered a visiting professorship at the Air Force Academy. I didn't take it because we were working on this grant with NASA, and we were successful with that. And then in the meantime, I created a program where we were taking 7th, 12th graders to top research labs across the country, from Kennedy Space Center, the Fermi High Particle Physics Lab in Chicago. We went to activities with the dental lab and dental museum in Baltimore, Maryland, and also we had activities in Seattle. So we were taking young people around the country to actually be exposed to what it's like to be at a particular institution. It's one thing to read about issues, say, for example, humidity. And you read about humidity, but it means nothing. So we took about 25 young people from Pasadena, California, to Orlando, Florida.
Oh.
And so you can imagine,
right, there's a
the
difference
between it wiped the kids out for about a day. They were just gone. And it immediately tells students whether they want to go to a human situation or not. It's different than reading about it in a book.
Yeah.
And plus, I had activities with UNESCO as well, United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. And I was a consultant with them for 21 days in West Africa, at marine biology labs in West Africa.
Oh, wow. Yeah, man. I mean, your story is really, really fascinating to me, in terms of the fact of like, that is just the PhD thing alone is kind of mind blowing to me, because I know how hard that kind of thing is. Plus, being in the situation of being an African American doing that, and this was like the 80s.
Well, I got the PhD in 1980 from University of California, San Diego, in La Jolla.
Wow. And so, I'm gonna have a lot of people that weren't alive back then, but that's a radically different time, like in terms of having opportunities for African Americans in higher education and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, I can't even imagine like the crazy stuff that you've overcome to be number one, to be where you are, and to have the wealth of knowledge. I mean, it blows my mind, and you're so down to earth, which is what I love.
Well, one of the things, Jake, is like you and I have in common is that we really want to help people.
Yeah.
And I got the PhD because I wanted to have greater freedom than just having no degree and working somewhere. With the PhD, you have options, and without it, you have fewer options. And so that is one reason I was pursuing this area. I've always wanted to, from the 5th grade, I've always wanted to be a marine biologist. I first wanted to be an astronaut. But then when one of the astronauts switched from being an astronaut to an aquanaut, I switched in the 5th grade to want to become a marine biologist.
I see. That's really cool. That's cool.
It was the unfortunate thing, I didn't know any marine biologists. And so that was something that hurt me in a sense, because if I knew what it took, I would have been a little more serious in my studies. But it worked out in the long run. But it tempered me to realize that young people need mentors. And that's part of what we do with 10X and other things, with businesses and families and things that we work on together, is that we really want to help people make an easy transition from where they are to where they want to be. And that's what's motivating me in all the different things that we're doing, whether it's with the licensee program with Grant Cardone, or with, as you know, the Legal Shield program, working with people in their legal rights and identity theft.
See, this is the thing, like actually talking to you, because, okay, I'm just going to go there because like when we were having lunch, and we're talking all things Grant. Grant's fucking, I mean, he's such an amazing guy. I really love Grant. I mean, you totally nailed it. It's about helping people. And, Joe, like what I love about you is just the amount of hustle you got. Here you are. I mean, this is just so, I mean, you're freaking awesome. Like you're a hero, like, because here you are, 70 years old, 70 years young, whatever. You're 70. You're retired, man. You are like a ninja, dude. You're out there being a Ph.D. Like, oh, I mean, amazing. You retire, you're like, all right, I got to get hustling again. so then you get in on helping people. I mean, obviously, with a PhD in science, you're a killer at problem solving. So, obviously you're going to be able to help people solve problems. But it seems like you've turned like obviously you're invested in science, so you're going to have that as an asset, and you're going to be a wonderful mentor and helpful mentor and coach for people in that arena that are interested. But beyond that, like me, now you signed up with Grant Cardone, you're helping business owners, small business owners, like actually solve the problems that they're facing. And in the modern age with all these lockdowns and all this other stuff, it's a sizable a problem to solve. So, I love that about you, that you're such a hustler. But and it was Grant that really brought us together, and I'm grateful for that. And when we're sitting down talking about stuff, talking about business, talking about money, talking about our lives, we're hanging out at Billy's Inn down in North Denver, which is a great spot, right?
Definitely a great spot. Great food. Cool, I have to go back again, man.
Hey, dude, don't wait. Like, we'll go, because I'm gonna go. We'll go get some more food, right? That's good. But we're wrapping. And I love that you brought up prepaid legal, because I've been a customer since like 2003. Like I think was it you or somebody while I was in the process? They're like, oh, you got a 100, man. You've been a customer forever. Like at the beginning of my member number or whatever. But I've been a member because in 2003, that was the first year that I went into business. That's when I formed my first LLC. And somebody who mentored me in business was like, dude, okay, you need two people. Now things have changed a little bit, but he was like, you need two people. You need an accountant and you need an attorney on your team if you're going to be a business owner and you're going to be successful. And I was like, dude, I don't have the kind of money to get an attorney on retainer. And I had known back then it was going by prepaid legal, but now, it's rebranded really as kind of Legal Shield or whatever. But so I bought in. It was awesome. And I've been a client for like 19 years. It's such a fantastic product. But the thing that's cool about it, and this is what I'm talking about at the beginning of the show, is that if you listen to the show, you could right now, after we're done, start making money. Because this is something that I believe in this product. I've used it for 19 years. You can also sell it as an associate. But I hadn't even thought of the perspectives, because I mean, okay, I'm half white, half Mexican, but I look like a white dude, so I don't got problems that some people in this country face, right? And I'm rapping with you, freaking brain 10 times the size of mine. You talk 10x, like super genius guy, but you're sensitive to these problems that African Americans face, and people that traditionally are. I mean, we've had riots in this country over these problems between the legal system and certain disenfranchised people in this country. And I had never even considered it. And you really, really opened my eyes, because my big thing is I'm a libertarian, like not political party, but I believe in liberty. I believe in freedom. I believe in those things that are part of America. I ain't saying America's got a great history with it, but I'm saying they're important values. And man, when you were telling me some of these stories, and this is what I really want people to hear, was the problems that can be solved with this Legal Shield concept. Like, okay, I've been using it to write contracts for my business, basically to get an attorney on retainer for contract stuff in business. I've been doing that for 20 years. Great service. They give you a free will, all that. But you turned me on to kind of these really, really super practical issues that are especially faced by people that are having problems with the legal system. What brought you into Legal Shield? Like, how did you even get involved?
Well, a friend of mine from church in California introduced me to Legal Shield in 2005. Immediately when I heard about it on the spot, I signed up to become a member and an associate at the same time, because it made perfectly good sense. And since then, as you alluded to, it became even more apparent that having access to an attorney on the phone, it becomes vital. If you go online, anybody can check this out, and you do a Google search and you say, do a line while black. Just draw a line and then while black, and you'll be astonished at the kind of absurd things happen to Black people just because they're Black. You have situations, many of you have heard about these real estate guys at Starbucks in Philadelphia got handcuffed and goose-stepped out of Starbucks because the person thought they were in Starbucks too long. How many people been in Starbucks waiting for business clients, and they are real estate folks waiting for someone, and how many of them got arrested? But they got escorted out. And if they had Legal Shield, all they had to do was push a button on their phone, and within 3 rings, they would have had an attorney, and the attorney would have talked to the officers and says, and that would never have happened. Same thing happened about the real estate agents was showing a house to a father and his son, and a neighbor called them, and they got escorted out by the cops because they were Black. And so this stuff happens. And the reason we created this was roughly 20 some years ago. Some of you may have heard about this Haitian immigrant in New York City was sodomized by a broken handlestick by the New York Police Department. And our owner, Mr. Harlan Stonecipher, said, no, that can't be. And so he challenged our attorney firms within 6 months, come up with a way that we will make sure that this doesn't happen. And so we came up with our 24/7 emergency phone service. So anybody have an emergency, 1 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, a police officer, a home, what do you call them? Home care people in the come to your house. Someone reported you as abusing your kids, and they come at 3 o'clock in the morning, and you just push a button on your phone, and you have an attorney to talk with the officers. It's a great service. You don't have to be a minority to benefit. Anybody in the wrong situation and misunderstandings, and you get stopped by officers. There are always situations a police officer comes and asks you, would you be okay if we look in your trunk? Or if we're okay to look in your the back seat? And someone says, I have nothing to hide. Well, there's a case of some high school students giving a friend a ride home. And they're just they didn't know the guy, he was just a classmate. And so, they got stopped for a taillight. And the police officer says, is it okay if we take a look in your trunk? They said, let me call my attorney. So he called the attorney and told the attorney, the police officer would like to look in my trunk. What should I do? And then he passed the phone to the police officer, and they asked him some questions. That, do you have any reason to suspect anything? And he said, no. Well, then the answer is no, you cannot open their trunk. And then their young friend that they gave a ride to said, whew, I'm glad you said that, because I just had throw some bag of marijuana on the floor. Because their whole life would have been uprooted. Which reminds me of a situation about in California, some kids were shooting off some fireworks in Orange County, California.
No, normal kid stuff.
Normal kid stuff.
But they're doing
and
it
the
while
cop
black.
and
But they're
a
doing it
neighbor's
while being black,
call.
right?
They said, well, some black kids are shooting guns. And then 9 cop cars, helicopters, and guns pointing at these kids' head later. And then they call their mom, and their mom says, why are you calling me? Call your attorney. And so they call the attorney. The attorney talked to the police officers. These young men were able to go home with their mom, but the other kids went to jail and have a felony mark on them because of illegally firing fireworks. And so now these young people are in college with full scholarships and everything, but no felony record because they had access to legal shield.
Meanwhile, other people who have a felony, for people who aren't connecting the dots, it's impossible to get a job. You can't vote. Like, you're a non-citizen, and it was just over some dumb stuff that is like being a kid, but you happen to be a kid while black. Like, that's no good.
And any kid who doesn't have access to this is subject to the same kind of issues. But if you're a minority child, it becomes doubly important because it could be life-threatening. And I know when I was a kid, they were telling you, put your hands on the steering wheel when the cops come in there and asking you questions so you make sure your hands are free. Even that nowadays is not protecting you. So you have to be really have something like prepaid legal. We're now going by the initials more often, PPLSI, which is really the letters for Prepaid Legal Services Incorporated. And we're going back to that because we do more than the legal services. So we want to give people chances to realize we can do more to help protect their family and their business. And so that's what we want to do. But for the listeners here, what we want to do is to let you know that Jake and I are here to help you get to resources. And we have resources in such a wide range of areas that we just want to focus on some limited areas with the licensee program with Grant Cardone and prepaid legal or legal shield, because you won't believe what we can do for you because it's just too much. Our network is so vast. We have contacts in over 88 countries, and we have colleagues with over 20. I have 40 years of educational experience, and we have colleagues with over 20 years of business development experience that we have at our disposal. How do you tell people all of that, all the range of things that we can do?
Listen, well, if I can interrupt, Joe and I, okay, we have a lot in common, but I think we have a lot in common because we are, I got my master's degree in financial math. So, I mean, I've gone through the academic route. I've done all that kind of stuff as well. Maybe not to the crazy extent that Joe has, but, we have that in common. We both kind of came through Grant Cardone. We're both involved with this, but I think it's because we are both fundamentally problem solvers. There's problems in this country, okay? And I hate to break this to you. Like, let's talk about all the stuff that Dr. Joe just talked about, okay? These are real issues, man. Like, my daughter, she goes to this school in Wheat Ridge. Come to find out, her best friend, who's African-American, is also her cousin. She's adopted, but we ended up finding out that she's a cousin. So she's very sensitive to a lot of this stuff that's been happening, like Black Lives Matter and all this kind of stuff. But I'm the first to tell you that these riots, that kind of stuff, you got to stand up for your rights. You got to do these things. But if you really want to solve the problem, the time to have insurance is before you got the freaking problem, right? Afterwards, it's too late. And in the case of like these young boys with the fireworks, dude, I was shooting fireworks. I had a BB gun. I've had run-ins on the law when I was a kid. I wish that I would have had an attorney on retainer. I wish my parents would have had that, but it didn't really exist when I was growing up. But it exists now. And, these are real issues. Like, I am an avid supporter of the Innocence Project, which is a fantastic charity. We have a mass incarceration problem in this country. We have 5% of the world's population and 25% of the world's prisoners. That is a big problem. And a huge percent of those are people that are minorities, or I don't know what the hell you got to call people these days, but people that are African-American, brown, whatever, poor. And this is like having an attorney on retainer that is totally affordable. Okay. So I'm going to make, you can hit me up. You can hit Dr. Joe up. We're going to help you with this kind of stuff. But beyond the problem, solving the problems with regards to the justice system in the United States, making sure that it really is liberty and justice for all, these are the things, but you got to take responsibility. You can't wait on Big Daddy Joe Biden or Donald Trump or whoever the joker is in Washington. They ain't done it. They ain't going to do it. You've got to do it. And Joe and I are making ourselves available to help you. Now that also goes for on the Cardone side, because the only problems that people face, especially people that are trying to up their station in life, get out of being lower class, get out of being middle class. Not only do you have to know how to, navigate the legal system, but you also got to know how to make money. And so that's kind of where Joe and I are on the Grant Cardone side, is that this guy is really legit. He's got great technology, great knowledge. And we are basically partners with Grant here in Denver, and we will help you. Contact us. Hit me. You want to talk to Joe? I'll set up a meeting with Joe. Whatever. We are here to help. Now, one of the cool things is with us as partners with Grant is that we're launching. I'm doing 10x networking events here. Dr. Joe's going to be a part of it. I'm also going to be doing 10x business boot camps. So Dr. Joe's going to be a part of that as well here in Denver. So hit me up, man. If you have a small business, or you're just a Joe who has a job, and you don't, let's get crazy here. You're one of the people that you don't want to take part of the mandate, or you're just sick of the financial turmoil of working with somebody, and you want to start your own business. Joe and I could show you how to have real income right now. I mean, the pitch that I give people is, I'll up your income 30% in 90 days. Guaranteed. I'll do it. Now, it's a lot of work, but if you're a hustler like Joe's retired, and he's like, I ain't retired. I'm out there hustling still. Get out there, make it work. Now, Joe, let's talk about this. So let's say somebody's watching right now, and they're looking to increase their income, right? But they're like a worker bee, man. All they did is go to public school. All they learned how to do is to go work a retail job, and they're selling T-Mobile, or they're a cashier. Let's just talk right out the gate, the opportunity with prepaid legal, not just in terms of having an attorney on retainer, having all the services from on the business side, contract review, all that, but on the criminal defense side or any of that. I mean, it's amazing. If you want to get a divorce or any of that stuff, you got an attorney on retainer. But let's talk a little bit, because you're way more of an expert on this than me. I've known about it, but I mean, I've only been a customer for 20 years, not an associate. What are the opportunities? Like, if maybe you could just talk to maybe your own experience in terms of revenue made, or some of the people like, what is the opportunity? Because what I love about this is that typically you want to sell this kind of thing, like life insurance, health insurance, you got to get a license from the state. With prepaid legal, you could just sign up. It's relatively inexpensive way to start your own business, and you can legit start making money like today.
That is true. So let's say someone who is working 2 or 3 jobs, and they really don't have any more time. This could be a perfect opportunity for them. You can in slivers of times, say 2 hours a week on your lunch break, you could be making hundreds of dollars on your lunch break. And this is how it would basically be, is that you would just sit down and explain the services to a friend. And if they sign up, you will earn between, if you help them with a $65 plan, which is $65 a month, your commission would be $70 to $448 for that $64 plan. And the reason that's the case is like insurance. If you sell an insurance policy, usually insurance companies pay you a 12-month commission up front. Legal Shield does the same thing.
I see.
And so they pay it up front, and once the credit card or check clears, you have within a day or two that $70 to $48 in your bank account every time. So if you're helping a person once a day, and then one person a week signs up, that's an extra just $70 at the very beginning. And that's, if you do that every week, that's 4 times, that's $200, an extra $280. But the company really is incentivizing people to get started, and they will pay you bonuses on top of your commission that equal $1,900 on top of your commission.
Wow.
If you help more people and help them fast. So what we are saying is that even though you have limited amount of time, it is how focused you are. You don't have to quit your job. You don't have to change and have jump over any major hoops or anything. It's just help people protect their family.
And it's not even hard. Like literally, and I'm stupid. I should have been an associate ages ago, because I cannot tell you how many people I'm like, oh, dude, just get prepaid legal. You got a problem with this or that? Dude, I use prepaid legal. Just go sign up. I should have been fucking like at least getting a commission on those deals.
That's true.
But I'm trying that now. But anyway, the point is that if you are seriously thinking of like, man, I need a side hustle. Okay, yeah, go drive Uber. I'm not saying don't drive Uber. What I'm saying is like, why are you selling your time? Like, this is clearly a product that is serious demand for. Now, the company is like the company in the space, like Legal Shield, Prepaid Legal, PPLSI, whatever. I mean, they've been around for like 40 years or something.
No,
right?
50.
50 years. It's not going. This is an established company.
Yeah, we actually invented the subscription legal services in the United States.
So they're innovators. They're the big dog in the space. They've got incredible. I mean, it's kind of mind blowing to have been a customer for 20 years, and then to flip over and start being an associate and see the crazy amount of like training videos, support, marketing materials, all that stuff that they give people to succeed. It's like, it is really, if you're looking to dip your toes into entrepreneurship and you don't want to spend $100,000 on a franchisee license, if you don't want to take the risk of getting into a lease because you're going to open a brick and mortar business in some strip mall, why don't you consider doing this and talking to people who like have legal problems? Okay. You know, so one thing that's interesting, I had prepaid legal forever, right? And so when the lockdowns happened, that's one of the things that really kicked me in the butt to like be like, dude, you've been comfortable and complacent and it's not good enough. That's really when I kind of doubled down on the 10X stuff. And but you know, I had now luckily I'm an entrepreneur. I've been through 3 financial crises now, global, and I know that you have to have multiple revenue streams, right? So during the lockdown, all those dumb idiots in DC don't think my job's essential. And guarantee, unless you work at like Walmart or some crap, they didn't think your job was essential either. And they shut everybody's revenue streams down. Okay? That happened across the board. That really hammered me and my family. I got 3 kids I got to take care of, a wife, a house. I have my mother moved in. I've started taking care of her. I have responsibilities. And so I've diversified my cash flows, but they took away my 2 biggest ones. My wrestling company, I can't teach wrestling with social distancing. And my wife and I have gatemaster.com, which is a software for amusement parks. That industry was hit 70 times harder than restaurants, okay? Literally like Thanos, man. They snapped half our clients dead, never coming back. It was a nuke to small business. You know what kept us alive is that my wife had already built a business very similar, different product with essential oils in doTERRA. And that is what paid our bills during all that time. It wasn't Trump or Biden's crap ass check. It was setting up a very similar business. And now I mean, my eyes have been opened, especially because of these conversations with Dr. Joe. I never even really thought of the implications because of the problems with the legal system, how much of a problem you can solve for people and have a valuable product. So it's not hard for you to sell. Selling has got a bad rap, but if it's ethical and not manipulative and you're delivering a killer product, it's one of the best things you can do because you're solving somebody's serious problem.
And along that same line, Jake, as you shared your personal story about how the shutdowns have impacted your family in such a critical way, it has changed the mindset of American workers forever. People have realized that they don't want to deal with the traffic. They don't want to go into the office and wonder if they're going to get sick. And they don't want to put up with the negativity that they have to deal with sometimes in an office space. So like your wife's essential oils income stream, this is another way that you can control your environment and dictate your income by how hard you're willing to work. Instead of working 40 hours for someone, why not work 10 or 15 hours for yourself and make the same amount of money or more than what you were making when you were working for someone else for 40 hours with less stress? And you can see the benefit that you can have for families. And I would encourage people to get in contact with Jake. He would be more than willing to help explain to you how it works. In addition to working as an income stream, it also has benefits that you can save money on stuff.
Yes.
For example, yesterday I was signing up for a hotel to go to a Cardone growth camp in March. With the discounts with Legal Shield, I was able to save $600 on my hotel bill.
That pays your whole year's worth of coverage.
More than a whole year. And so just that one thing. I had a friend, she bought a new car and saved $7,000 on the new car using the benefits. Yeah. So it's a valuable service.
Joe, so because you're an expert, like how much, I mean, I just bought it, but like, sorry, I don't really remember. I got so much stuff. It's in and out of my head. Somebody wants to sign up as an associate. What was it, like 100? I don't know how much, $150?
Well, it used to be $99, but in the month of January, it's in honor of our 50th anniversary, which is this year. A person can sign up to be an associate. It only costs them $50.
So you can basically throw down $50.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna run a thing for you. Right? If you're listening right now, okay, are you listening? Turn off all your other shit. I'm gonna show you how to make some money. Super easy, okay? Super easy. First, take out $50. Get your credit card. Get $50. Go mow some lawns or shovel some snow. Get $50 before the end of January. 2, hit me up. Hit Joe up. Let's get the link. I'll get you the link. Sign up. Okay, that's step 2. Get your money. Step 2, sign up. Step 3, get out your cell phone. Go through all your contacts, copy the link on this YouTube, send it, and then say, man, you need to get on this. I'm on this. Like, you don't have to worry about the cops. You don't have to worry about your business contracts. You're going to be able to save money. Look at this shiz. And if you want, you can stop your Uber. You can stop working for the jerk that you're always complaining about. You can supplement or maybe even replace your income with this. And you're done. You're done. Do that with everybody in your contact list. Done.
And if you like what you're doing, you can just add this as a supplement, and you don't have to change your lifestyle or anything like this. But it can give you mental and financial freedom to be able to have money when if the government shuts down again. During the shutdown, we had our best years ever. 50% higher than before the shutdown, and new members, new associates joining because people realize how they need legal protection and they need new income. It's a bargain. On average, attorney is going to cost you $300 to $500 an hour. That's basically for a whole year of our services. Not one attorney, but attorney firm. You would have not one attorney, but you have an attorney firm covers every area of law.
Now, Joe, one of the things that's awesome about that, right? That particular thing. So when lockdowns happened, I was freaking out. I'm like, dude, I got to cut everything out of my budget. And I was going to cut out prepaid legal. Okay. As cheap as it was. And I've had it. I'm grandfathered, man. I'm like old school. And I was really like freaking out. Like, how am I going to do this? Because they shut off all my income, but my mortgage still didn't shut off. My electrical bill didn't shut off. The school tuition didn't shut off. Like, I had to hustle my ass off and cut everything. So even something that I'd had for 20 years, I was like, dude, okay. And thank God that the guy when I was on the phone, he's like, dude, you've been a member for 20 years. You have over 300 hours banked.
That's right.
So maybe you can help people understand how the banking works, because he's like, you have 300 hours banked. Do you understand what that means? At $250 an hour of an attorney, you have $75,000 of attorney's fees covered. And you have that option for $30 a month. I was like, oh yeah, don't cancel that, because I want that 75 grand in case I need for business purposes. Maybe somebody freaking breaks into my house and I have to shoot them. Like, dude, there's like, they've thought of everything. There's special writers. If like you're a gun owner, that you can get that'll protect you if like you have a concealed carry. Like, it's amazing. But Joe, can you maybe explain how the banking of the hours works for people?
Okay, it can get confusing, but we're prepaid legal, PPLSI is as a defensive service mostly. And if you wanted to do some offensive activity like sue somebody, you get a 25% discount on what an attorney will charge. And so what the 300 hours means, if someone says, Jake, I don't like you, the way you look, I'm going to sue you because you smile too much. What that means is that because you've had Legal Shield so long, you have 300 hours. They say, okay, sue me. You sit there for 300 hours. They have to pay their attorney every hour up to 300 hours before you even think about paying. So most people say, well, maybe I don't want to. His smile is not that offensive. I let him alone. And because the way it works is when you sign up, you start off with 30 hours. For someone sues you, you have 30 hours of protection from someone suing you. And then every year it adds up. And at the 5th year, it adds up to 300 hours. Okay. And so after those 300 hours, then what happens is that you just keep those 300, like you've had 300 hours. That's more court time than the O.J. Simpson case took. 300 hours.
Wow.
And okay. So you start off with the these hours. I think I said 30, but it's actually 60 hours you start off with. And so the idea is that you are protected and you don't have to sweat it. Then you say, well, if you sue me, so you understand, I have PPLSI and I have 300 hours that I don't have to do anything, and my attorney will drag this out. And
then if you want to go 300 hours, that's cool. And then I get 25% discount after that.
That's right. So most people won't touch you from that, and it also covers you, your significant other, and your children, up to 8 kids if they're under 26 years of age, or full-time college students, or in the service, never married. They're also covered.
Wow.
For that same $30 a month on that one plan. And so it is a no-brainer if you are concerned about your family. And most people will decide that it's better to protect their family. Say, for example, you have a daughter who's in college and she's on the East Coast or the West Coast, but she's away from home. Wouldn't it be nice to have her have access to an attorney? She gets stopped by the cops, and she doesn't, and it was maybe a fender bender or something like that. And she, instead of her spilling her guts to the cops, she calls the attorney, and the attorney talks to the police officer. Many of us don't exercise you have a right to an attorney and the right to be silent. Many people don't have both of those things in check. First, they don't have an attorney, and the second thing, they talk too much. Most people don't know that it's legal for police officers to lie.
Yeah, you can't lie, but they can lie and trick you into incriminating yourself. I mean, like, there's legit problems with, like, because I'm like deep in on the Innocence Project. I really believe in it. And like they talk about like all these false incarcerations, these false confessions that people are like tricked into. So maybe you're guilty, maybe you're even not, but they're trying to get their numbers up, man.
Yeah. And so with Legal Shield, you can get legal advice on the spot. Now, having said that, let's be honest, not every time you're in the right.
Yeah.
And so you don't think that there's a free get out of jail card if you screw up. You driving 100 miles an hour in a school district zone. You should go to jail.
Yeah, right.
And
But
so,
at least you have somebody on your side that knows the legal system. And I mean, even listen, this is the thing, dude. Like, yeah, people make mistakes, and some people are stupid, or people have different risk tolerances and do drive crazy or whatever. That said, you know, even though you're stupid and this ain't a get out of jail free card, at least you're going to have somebody there that can help you navigate the system, and you can afford it. You ain't going to go broke.
That's true.
Dealing with this situation, even if it is your fault.
And even then, you want to make sure you have legal advice, and that's what we are telling you. You may not like all the advice, but it will tell you what your rights are, and you know what your options are better. And plus, you have attorney-client privilege. You can talk to an attorney and you don't have to worry about it. Now, some people say, I got a cousin who's an attorney and they help me out. But you do not have client privilege with your cousin if you don't pay them.
Until you pay them, right?
Until you pay them, you don't have any client privilege with them. So if they get calling, they got to tell everything you told them. You have no protection. So and plus they don't cover every area of law. Legal Shield does.
And you can get that for $30, man.
You can get that for $30 a month.
That's less than people's Starbucks budget. Like, it's crazy.
That's right. And all you have to do is cut out 1 or 2 Starbucks drinks a week, and you can basically pay for your Legal Shield bill.
And you cut out a few more, and now you got your own business.
Yeah.
So Joe, like, let's talk. Like, you introduced me to Haas, and so here's a guy. This is a guy who routinely makes 6 figures on prepaid legal.
Right.
Like, he's like $1 million earner club guy too. Like, you can make, like, tell me, like, what are some of the people that you've seen, or what if you really are serious about this and you believe in the product and you're solving problems, so it's an easy sell when you're passionate about it, you're real, and you're a buyer of the product, right? Like, that's going to make your sale a hell of a lot easier when you own the product because you clearly believe in it. But what are we looking at, like, at the potential? Like, I've never gone to these prepaid legal conferences and all that kind of stuff. What are some of the people making? Like, obviously this is not typical, but this is the potential.
Well, some people are making, so at the higher end, you got people making $2 million passively a year. And then you got some people making 300,000 a year. And one of my friends, he's an avid surfer, and he started out with no driver's license, no car, no place to live. He was basically a beach bum.
Yeah.
And basically now he makes over $600,000 a year. His team has made over $300 million a year. No high school degree, and we have people who are like myself, a Ph.D., and you got people with GEDs or no Gs, and they're making over $100,000, $200,000, and the company will train you. You don't have to have a degree. You can be degreeless. You can be one of the people that say to you, you are going to be a deadbeat forever. And Legal Shield will work with you to help train you. And they have plans where within 45 days, if you want to work, you could make $1,900 in 45 days or less. And it all depends on, like you're talking about, using your phone. It all depends on how willing you are to talk to people and offer them this service. And you can make a significant amount of money with Legal Shield. And people are doing it from all walks of life. You got immigrants coming in who limited English speaking. We've got people, one lady was in a wheelchair for 11 years. She's now one of the top performers in Legal Shield.
Wow.
And so you got a range, you got people who are blind selling Legal Shield and doing well. So it's a matter of, do you want to stop making excuses, and do you want to accept help from people who would like to help you change the status of your family's income? And that's what we offer you with Legal Shield.
Well, hey, but let's get real here, Dr. Joe. Let's get real here. Because, yeah, you could go buy you prepaid legal. You could go get all this. You could go be an associate, make 100,000, 300,000, 2 million, whatever you are able to do. But you know what else you're going to get? And I'll put the link down below or whatever somewhere. I'll make sure you get the link or DM me or whatever, and I'll get it to you. You're going to get me, and you're going to get Dr. Joe as your immediate freaking guys that help you with this.
And that's as we started off.
I'm gonna tell you, sorry, Joe. I gotta hype myself here, man. You're never gonna get a better deal than that. You're gonna get me helping you for $50 an hour. I mean, for $50 flat. I charge so much for my business development stuff. This is a business in a box, and you can have me and Joe. I mean, this guy's like super genius. And, I'm high energy. So, And all that for $50.
And you have access to our whole network of resources that later, if we find out that we can help you in other areas, you get that too.
Yeah,
from
and
our association.
Some of the stuff I've been learning is like not only could you sell, so you could sell prepaid legal. I mean, obviously, the service is a valuable service. It's an incredible value for $30. But I'm moving on to like the entrepreneurial opportunity here because, hey, I got a 10X flag. I'm like a business development coach. I've been doing it for 10 years. Like the opportunity for you to have a very easy business, if you've been scared or you've always wanted to get in and didn't want to spend a lot of money, for $50, you're going to get like an amazing opportunity to actually make money and selling something that's freaking super valuable with a company that's 50 years old.
Not only that, if you act fast, you even have a chance to win an all expense paid vacation to Maui.
Yeah, they give like all those crazy incentives. Oh, and then so beyond selling to individuals, I don't mean to the incentives are huge and that's cool, but I want people to understand. Okay, you can pick up your phone, call the people that you know that have had trouble with the law. $30 a month is a lot cheaper than a bail bondsman. I'll just tell you that right out the gate.
That's true.
It's cheaper than legal fees. Okay, just get a clue. Be ahead of the game. But beyond selling it to individuals, then you could call up people who are business owners, because I know that's who I have been recommending it to, and I probably should have been getting a commission, but I didn't. But I recommend it anyway to small business owners that need to register their LLC or the 501c3 or their S corp or their C corp, or people that need a licensing agreement or that need contract reviews. Okay, now you got small business, you got individuals, but then the thing that I was interested in that blew my mind is that not only can you sell that, but you could sell it as an employee benefit. Maybe
that's true.
How does that? Do you know how that works?
Well, basically, what happens is that it's a voluntary benefit for employees, and so it's just like FLAC or insurance for dental insurance or something like that is a benefit, and they would pay a smaller fee, and you would help enroll people with those benefits, and they are protected, and you have a chance to say speak to a group of employees about Legal Shield. They sign up, and you get paid every month from all the members. And we do that very well with companies with 100 or fewer employees. That's our sweet spot.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
and we got support for that too.
Well, you mentioned Aflac. I totally, like me and my wife with our software company, we offered these people Aflac. Somebody came in, we offered it because of accidental death and dismemberment insurance. We gave them a huge discount. Like they wouldn't be able to get that because out in the market, they got it because they were an employee of ours. They got a huge cheap, and they get this great benefit. Now, like one of the things that prepaid that we didn't even touch on, and we're wrapping up in an hour here, so I want to start because I know your time's valuable, and I've got a meeting to go to as well. But one of the other things is the identity theft.
Yes.
There's like a rider or a special policy also to protect you from identity theft. So you get all the LifeLock stuff, you get all the like gun owner stuff, you get the business stuff, you get all that. It's like an incredible value.
And there's much more we can share, and we're glad to share with you. And if just contact Jake, and if you want, we can set up and talk to your friends for you. And then we can talk with them, explain it, and we can sign them up under you. And you don't even have to say anything. You just set up the meeting.
And you can rest assured knowing that like this is actually like a valuable thing. Like you might save somebody a lot. Like we have a quarter of the world's prison population. I mean, I'm going to get crazy here, but let's just imagine, what if all of those had prepaid legal or Legal Shield? There may not be 25% of the world's prison population in the United States. The global prison population just in the United States. For real. That's like a legit problem solved.
And all the families, the disruption of the families that are a result of that would not have happened. And so the society would be a lot different if we had more people who had their legal rights protected and defended. And so we're here to help you. And Jake is going to give you access to him, and then we can always answer your questions. I'm available to talk, do 3 ways, do group, Zoom calls, whatever, to answer your questions at no cost or obligation, because we want to educate you about what you are. Because right now, if you do nothing, you're only going to get the legal protection as much as you can afford. And if you can't afford it, you won't get it. And so we're here to help you, and it's your choice.
Plus, we're here to help you make money with it too.
Yes,
I mean, it's
right.
like this is literally one of those sounds too good to be true. Pinch yourself, move on, and get her done. Because, like, I'm just telling you, you're seriously missing out. Like, seriously. And now, Joe, I don't want to give him the whole cow. I just want to give him a glass of milk. So, you know what I'm saying? So, guys, make it happen. Joe, man, you are an amazing human, dude. I really appreciate you taking the time, not only to share your story, which to me is hugely inspiring, but all your wealth of knowledge on the entrepreneurial stuff and on the legal side and with the rights and how to solve that problem. I very much appreciate your time.
It's my honor.
All right, pal. Guys, let's do this. Hit me up. I'm gonna put the link in the thing here somewhere. I don't know. Look, it's not hard. It's social media. Everybody knows how to do it. Hit me up, DM me, whatever. Get signed up. If you want extra income, make it happen, dude. This is better than getting an Uber gig or going and it's all you have to do is everybody needs this, especially in the United States. I definitely know people who need this. That's why I decided to do it. I'm already doing it. And that's just on the business side, not on the other problems that come with our legal system. So I appreciate you guys. Another great show. Dr. Joe's the man. I'm going to keep doing these. I'm going to keep bringing in the guys that know the stuff. You pay attention, tune in, keep your eyes open, and we're going to make this a better world. All of us. I want to make you guys go from no one, not saying you're no one, but like to number one in whatever field you choose. So I appreciate you guys. Let's keep in touch. Hit me up in the DMs.